Instagram model killed. Sad day in Houston. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Brent in Miami. Go ahead and give me a like and a subscribe. We on our way. We on our way up. Today I'm bringing you a sad story. It's a tragedy actually. It's a story of Mercedes Morr. She was an Instagram model that was killed by one of her followers. First I want to say rest in peace to the young lady. She was 33 years old. Condolences to her family and friends and all her loved ones. No matter what your job is and no matter what you're doing, she didn't deserve to die. Okay, let's get that out of the way. And this story hits close to home. I know a couple of Instagram models that have had stalkers, and they have had to get restraining orders on these guys. So it is a real thing. All right, get situated here. Boom.
This is the story of Mercedes Morr, who was stalked and killed by one of her 2.6 million Instagram followers for a reason that isn't really clear to anyone till date. Miss Morr was killed in her house by an unknown man who some believed had sent her a lot of money, but others believed he was just a stalker who wanted the beautiful Instagram model all to himself.
We begin with a Grammy Award-winning artist way to honor a Houston Instagram model who was killed Sunday. Drake dedicated his album, Certified Lover Boy, to Miss Mercedes Morr. The 33-year-old, whose real name is Janae Gagne, was strangled in her home.
Mercedes Morr, originally known as Jenna Gagnier, was someone who grew up with an interesting social life. She was said to formerly be a dancer, but later decided to be an influencer and model.
Let me stop that right there. Ooh, dancer. Was that ballet, jazz, tap? No, I think he's talking about stripping. So oftentimes strippers make this transition from, dancing on the pole to Instagram and OnlyFans. They're both terrible jobs, and they shouldn't be doing it. But anyway, let's continue.
As that became really popular, she came from a very nice family. She has also been known to be associated with celebrities of the likes of Drake and Cardi B. Her dad and mom were really nice people. She has a very pretty sister too called London. According to some sources, Miss Morr had a platform where men who liked her would donate money to her, just for liking what they see. Some men believe they should have access to any lady who they donate money to at a particular point of the non-romantic relationship, which can make the situation very dangerous sometimes.
Okay, so sometimes that's very dangerous. You're giving men money, and men expect something in return. Okay, so one thing that's a little different between like normal corn and these new social media platforms like OnlyFans and Instagram is the addictive nature. Okay, not only you're getting physically stimulated, but with OnlyFans, you are texting back and forth. You're building a relationship with that woman, or you think you are. And most men can handle this because they know it's a big fantasy. But some people take it too far. And once people think they're giving something and not getting anything in return, it creates this issue. And, it can be dangerous and fatal.
It would be the case of 34-year-old Kevin Acorto, who felt used and neglected. According to
he wrote, "I was used" on there. This guy's a basket case.
Some unconfirmed reports, Kevin had been sending Miss Morr money and was expecting some sort of reward from it, which he did not receive. So Kevin decided to take matters into his hands. On August 29th, Kevin would find his way from Florida to Houston, Texas, where Miss Morr lived in a well-gated and secured community. He stalked her for a good amount of time and was able to finally pinpoint her apartment. He would then make his way into the so-called gated community without much stress, and then into Miss Morr's apartment, where he was able to get hold of Miss Morr. Not much is known about what transpired between both of them indoors, but it would be later discovered that Miss Morr had been strangled to death in her apartment by Kevin. Miss Morr's father, having not heard from his daughter all weekend, which he said was unlike her, rushed to her home on Sunday to find her dead body after he broke down her front door.
We keep her private. Nobody, not even her real friends, really knew her name. I've moved my daughter 3 times just because of my insecurities and the freeze, of course, but she doesn't have friends by her house. I know my daughter, and when I got to my daughter's house and it was locked up and she's not answering my phone, which is not like her, I knew something was up, so I didn't hesitate to kick the door down. And what I saw, I wouldn't want any parent to go through. That's the first thing. The second thing is, which is even more hurtful.
Dang, that's every father's worst nightmare, that your daughter that you've raised, that you've tried to educate, is doing adult entertainment or any kind of adult business, showing her body off, any dancing or twerking. I feel bad for this guy. My condolences again. Ooh, this is hard. This is hard to watch, but it's real life. So keep going.
Getting inside, he would find her daughter dead. Thinking she fell down the stairs, he went up the stairs only to find an unknown man in some kind of distress. He was said to be twitching and gurgling when found. That man was later identified as Kevin Acorto.
Yeah, he looked
Police
crazy.
were called to the scene and they would discover on the wall, written in Miss Moor's lipstick, confession of his love, apologies, and professed love for Miss Moore. Also some comments looking like the reason why he has done what he did. Along with some that had nothing to do with the crime, apologizing to the landlord for messing up his house.
What?
And then,
Hold on a second. This dude is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You done killed a whole person, strangled her with your bare hands, and now you're writing on the wall that you are upset or apologizing to the landlord for messing up the apartment. This dude is cuckoo. Oof.
Very important one, mentioning how she made me think she liked me but wore a ring from another man. Most likely Kevin was referring to this video she posted on her Instagram page.
Yeah, social media, it's just too much.
Mystery still surrounds an...
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we can keep going on that, but that's the gist of it. The lesson here is, we as adults, we get to choose what we do with our lives, our path that we take. And to preserve our life, we want to take a healthy, righteous path. Live a simple life, keep things really easy, get married, have a couple children, have good jobs, and be normal. Once you start extending and going into other places, you're putting yourself in danger. Especially, like, let's say the guy was in the streets selling drugs, he's putting himself in danger. For girls out here doing Instagram, OnlyFans, doing all that exotic dancing, corn, all these things, they're kind of dangerous because they lead to a very seedy life. This lady, unfortunately, she was murdered by a psycho, and he felt used. He felt that he was not getting the woman of his dreams, which was a fantasy. And, she might have told him, texted him that, hey, you're my wife, I love you. But then he looks on Instagram and see her wearing another ring, wearing jewelry from somebody else, and it drove him crazy. I mean, there's stalkers out there. And looking at this young lady's page, she, flossed a lifestyle, Gucci, Prada, Fendi, red bottoms, all those things. It was all about material possessions. And when we say an influencer, what are you influencing? You're influencing people to wear designer jewelry and clothes and shoes. Why don't you influence people to do normal things? How about kids and family and a wife and a husband and a dog? I hate these influencers. You're not influencing anybody except for buying and purchasing. That's what you're influencing. Like the Kim Kardashian, what is her actual talent? What is her skill? Looking pretty? She was born like that. Okay, she works out a little bit, had some, butt enhancements and stuff, but what are you influencing people to do? What are you good at? What is your talent? What is your skill? This social media thing is this influencer, this Instagram, this OnlyFans, it's all going to explode in a couple of years because the market's going to get oversaturated. There's going to be new sets of chicas coming up doing this, and it's going to be ridiculous. There's going to be no money to be made because everybody's doing it for the cheap because there's so much competition. So ladies, find your way out of this life. What's your 2-year plan, 3-year plan to not be an OnlyFans model, to not do stuff on Instagram craziness? Ladies, one thing I want to tell you is that you don't have to do all of that half naked stuff online. You're already pretty enough. Doing that, all these bikini pictures, the whole page full of booty shots, all that twerking, that actually hurts your eligibility in the dating market. Guys don't like that for his main girlfriend. Guys don't want to wife that up. All of that body exposure, it actually is a negative thing for you. It's great to, I want to get that, but on the real, on the marriage tip, on the serious long-term relationship, that actually hurts you. So why don't you put some clothes on and delete all that stuff and find a good husband and live a normal life?